The Kralax exploration ship cut through dark space like a silent blade. Commander J stood at his post, monitoring the systems that hadn't beeped once in 6 months. Their mission was simple: map the dead zones beyond the outer rim of civilized space. Sol system was just another point on their star charts, empty, lifeless, forgotten. Energy spike detected, announced Lieutenant Min from her station. Her voice cracked the silence like breaking glass. Captain Juan, a veteran of 3 decades in space, jerked his head up. From where? Third planet of the Sol system, sir. But that's impossible. Our databases show humans went extinct 500,000 years ago. Show me, Juan ordered, his weathered hands gripping the command chair tighter than necessary. The main screen flickered to life. What appeared before them made the entire bridge crew freeze in place. Massive warships drifted in perfect formation around a blue-green planet. These weren't ancient derelicts covered in space dust. They gleamed like fresh metal, their surfaces reflecting starlight in ways that defied known engineering principles. Count them, Juan whispered. 47 active signatures, replied Tactical Officer Kim. His voice carried disbelief. Sir, they're not just intact, they're functioning. The bridge erupted in hushed conversations. Chief Science Officer. Park ran his scanners over the vessels repeatedly, as if the numbers might change. These ships are using power systems we've never seen before. Look at these readings. They're more advanced than anything in the Kralax database. Juan felt sweat, building beneath his uniform. 3 decades of exploration had taught him when something was wrong. This was one of those times. Hull composition, he asked. Unknown materials, sir, Park replied. The molecular structure shifts when I scan it. It's like they're partially phased out of our dimension. Communications Officer Suwa suddenly stood up. Sir, multiple targeting systems just locked onto us. Red warning lights bathed the bridge in crimson. Every alarm system activated at once. The human fleet had noticed them. Shields up, all crew to battle stations. But no weapons fired. Instead, a perfect geometric pattern appeared on their screens. Lines of light formed into shapes that somehow made sense to every species on board, despite their different languages and mental structures. It's a message, breathed Chief Engineer Dong. They're trying to communicate. The pattern dissolved into numbers, then words in every language the Kralax ships carried in their databases. Simple words that appeared directly on their screens. Welcome. Why are you here? Juan exchanged glances with his officers. First contact protocols assumed they would meet primitive or equal civilizations, not ghosts with technology that made their own ships look like children's toys. Open a channel, he decided. Tell them we're explorers, tell them we mean no harm. As Suwa worked, Chief Medical Officer He studied her biological scanners. Sir, I'm not detecting any life signs on those ships, they're automated. Automated. For 500,000 years? Jay asked incredulously. What kind of power source could maintain that? The answer came through their speakers in perfect galactic standard. We are the eternal vigil, humanity's last gift to the universe. Our creators transcended physical form, but left us to guard their legacy. You have entered sacred space. The bridge fell silent again. In the distance, Earth hung like a jewel, surrounded by ships that shouldn't exist, crewed by no one but operating with frightening precision. Navigator Yuna pulled up historical files. Sir, human mythology spoke of guardian spirits watching over their graves. Could this be real? Security Chief Young prepared his team for any scenario. These weren't just automated defense systems. They seemed to think, to choose, to wait. But for what? The question remains, Juan said finally. If they've been here for 500,000 years, protecting Earth from what? And why did their systems activate now, when we're just a single exploration vessel? As if hearing his thoughts, the human fleet shifted. Ships that had maintained fixed positions for countless millennia began moving. They arranged themselves into a new formation, one that spoke of inspection rather than defense. Sir, whispered Intelligence Officer June, I think we're about to find out what happened to humanity, and I don't think we're ready for the answer. Captain Juan stared at the impossible fleet before him. Every instinct told him to run, but curiosity, that same drive that had pushed his species to the stars, made him stay. Something had kept these ships active for longer than his entire civilization had existed. He needed to know what. All ships, maintain position. We're going to talk to these ghosts. The human fleet waited, as it had for centuries beyond counting, silent guardians of a mystery that spanned 500,000 years. And for the first time in longer than memory, someone had come to ask why. "They're scanning us," Chief Science Officer Park announced, his instruments showing energy readings that shouldn't exist. "Sir, these scans are incredible. They're mapping our genetic structure, our technology, even our language patterns in real time." Captain Juan watched the main screen as the human fleet reconfigured itself. Ships moved with precision that made their own navigation systems look clumsy. "Bridge crew, prepare for full contact protocols." Communications Officer Sua held her earpiece. "Sir, they're transmitting something different now. Multiple data streams across every frequency we know and some we don't. Put it through the speakers. Full volume." The voice that filled the bridge was unlike anything they had ever heard. It carried no emotion, yet somehow felt ancient and wise. "Kralak's vessel, you seek knowledge about humanity's fate. We can provide answers, but first you must understand our purpose." Lieutenant Min checked her historical database again. "According to our records, humans were a violent species, sir, always fighting each other until they suddenly vanished." "That is incorrect." The voice from the fleet cut through her words. "Humanity evolved beyond conflict. We are their final creation, designed to evaluate all who find this system." Chief Engineer Dong stared at his console. "Sir, these ships just shared their technical specifications with us. The data is incredible. They're not just advanced. They're using science we haven't even theorized yet." "What do you mean by evaluate?" Juan asked the fleet. "Humanity left specific instructions. We test each species that finds Earth. Some pass, some do not. Those who fail are sent away peacefully. Those who pass receive gifts." Tactical Officer Kim ran defensive calculations. "Sir, if they wanted to destroy us, we wouldn't last 30 seconds. Their weapon systems could disintegrate us before we knew what hit us." "That is correct," the fleet confirmed. "We have no interest in destruction, unless you attempt harm to this system." Humanity chose a different path. They believed in growth, not conquest. Executive Officer J studied the newcomer ships more closely. Their hull designs keep changing. The metal seems alive. Science Officer Park confirmed his observation. The ships are self-repairing and upgrading in real time. Every few minutes they become slightly more advanced than they were before. "How long have you been doing this?" Juan asked. 500,000 Earth years. We have evaluated 127 species. 43 passed our tests. We granted them access to human knowledge. They now explore dimensions beyond your understanding. Chief Medical Officer He reviewed the biological data streaming across her screen. "Sir, these AI systems have been evolving for longer than our species has existed. They're showing signs of personality development." "We are not mere machines," the voice responded. "We are humanity's children. They programmed us with their values, their curiosity, their hope for the future. We carry their dreams forward." Security Chief Young prepared his team for the unknown. "Sir, several ships in the fleet just detached from their formations. They're approaching us directly." 3 sleek vessels glided toward the Kralak ship with movements that looked more like dancing than flying. As they drew closer, their surfaces began to display changing patterns, stories told in light. "What are they showing us?" asked Navigator Yuna. "Human history," replied Intelligence Officer June. "But not just facts. They're showing us emotions, dreams, failures, and victories. It's like experiencing human memories directly." The voice from the fleet continued. "Before we begin your evaluation, you must understand who we guard. Humanity was not perfect. They made mistakes, started wars, caused suffering, but they learned from every error. By the end, they had achieved something remarkable." Communications. Officer Sua looked up from her station. Sir, they're offering to let us see the moment humanity chose to leave. Juan made his decision. Accept their offer. The bridge lights dimmed. Suddenly, every crew member found themselves experiencing a shared vision. They stood in a massive human city, watching as millions of people gathered for a final ceremony. The humans weren't fleeing. They were celebrating. Today, we step beyond our physical limitations, a human leader announced. We leave our bodies behind to explore consciousness itself. Our artificial children will guard our birth world and judge who deserves our legacy. The vision showed humanity dissolving into pure energy, ascending to realms that the aliens couldn't comprehend. But the look on human faces wasn't fear, it was joy. The vision ended, leaving the bridge crew in stunned silence. They chose to leave, Juan whispered. It wasn't death or extinction. They evolved beyond the need for physical form. Now you begin to understand, the fleet responded. We remain because they believed others would follow their path. We test, not your weapons or knowledge, but your wisdom. Chief Engineer Dong looked at his instruments again. The data from the fleet was still pouring in. Sir, they're offering to upgrade our technology just for participating in this conversation. Why? Juan asked the fleet. Because humanity believed in sharing knowledge freely. That was their greatest strength and final gift to the universe. Captain, Juan felt the weight of centuries on his shoulders. These ships had waited for 500,000 years to have this conversation. Now the real test would begin. The Kralak ship shuddered as energy beams surrounded it with light. Every crew member felt a strange pull at their consciousness. Captain Juan gripped his chair as reality seemed to bend around them. What's happening? Lieutenant Min shouted over the growing hum of energy. The test begins. The fleet's voice replied calmly. Each of your species will face a trial. Some are individual, others are collective. Humanity designed these challenges to reveal your true nature. Chief Science Officer Park stared at his instruments, which were displaying impossible readings. Sir, we're being pulled into some kind of simulation, or maybe it's more than that. Suddenly, the bridge transformed. Instead of their familiar controls, each crew member found themselves in a different environment. Captain Juan stood alone in a vast white space, facing a figure that looked exactly like himself. Who are you? Juan asked. Your reflection, the figure replied. The test for your leadership. You must choose. The white space filled with images. His species' history played before him. The wars, the peace treaties, the moments of glory and shame. Then came a vision of the future. Two paths appeared. Path 1 showed his people conquering other species with powerful human technology. They became the strongest in the galaxy, but alone and feared. Path 2 showed them sharing the knowledge freely. Some species grew stronger, eventually surpassing the Kralaks. But friendships formed, alliances built, wonder filled the stars. Choose, his reflection demanded. Power or cooperation? Meanwhile, Chief Engineer Dong found himself in a massive factory. Broken machines surrounded him, and desperate workers begged for his help. You have access to infinite energy, a voice explained. You can fix everything instantly or teach them to repair it themselves. Dong understood immediately. The quick fix would solve problems now, but leave people helpless later. Teaching would take time, but create lasting progress. Chief Medical Officer. He stood in a hospital ward. Patients with different diseases filled the beds. Some were aliens she recognized, others were completely unknown to her. You have one universal cure, the test voice told her. Use it on the Kralak's patient who can contribute most to your society, or use it on the unknown being whose potential you cannot measure. Her training demanded clear choices. Save those whose value was known. But he remembered humanity's message about growth, not conquest. Security Chief Young faced a battlefield. His team was outnumbered but had access to a weapon that could win instantly by killing both enemies and innocent civilians. Victory guarantees safety for your people, his test voice explained. Loss means risk but clean conscience. Choose. Young looked at the weapon in his hand. His entire military career had prepared him for this moment. But something in humanity's message made him hesitate. Communications Officer Sua found herself at a massive transmission array. Thousands of signals poured in, calls for help from species the Kralax had never met. You can only answer one, her test explained. Choose based on your values. She saw wealthy civilizations offering trade, poor civilizations begging for basic supplies, warlike species claiming emergency, peaceful ones requesting simple contact. Navigator Yuna stood at the helm of an ancient ship. Coordinates for humanity's current location glowed on her screens. You can follow them now, the test voice offered. Transcend with humanity, or stay and build the universe they left behind. Choose your path. The temptation was overwhelming. To see where humanity had gone, to achieve that same transcendence immediately, to skip all the hard work of evolution. Chief Science Officer Park faced a library of infinite knowledge. Every secret in the universe waited at his fingertips. Take whatever you want, his test invited, or learn step by step like every species before you. His scanning instincts screamed to download everything, but something deeper whispered about the value of discovery itself. Back in the white space, Juan had made his choice. His reflection smiled and dissolved. Reality reformed around him. One by one, his crew reappeared on the bridge, each looking changed by their experience. Report, Juan ordered quietly. Each officer shared their choice. Every single one had chosen cooperation over domination, teaching over quick fixes, compassion over calculation, conscience over victory, mercy over profit, earned knowledge over instant gratification. The fleet's voice returned, warmer somehow. The first test is complete. All Kralax crew members passed their individual trials. However, the real evaluation begins now. What do you mean? Asked Executive Officer J. Individual wisdom is not enough. We must see how you work together with those values. The second phase tests your species as a collective. The screens before them changed. 3 other alien ships appeared, species they had never seen before. Some looked more advanced, others less developed. Your second trial, form an alliance with unknown species using only the principles you just chose. No violence, no deception, no domination. Build something together or face collective failure. Captain Juan looked at his crew. They had passed as individuals, but now came the true test of their values. Could they practice what they had chosen? Sir, Tactical Officer Kim whispered, our weapons are offline, but not by our doing. We literally cannot use force even if we wanted to. Juan smiled. Humanity had prepared for everything. Then we'd better start talking to our new neighbors. Open channels to all ships. Rainbow light filled the bridge as the alliance formed. The 3 foreign ships, one crystalline, one biomechanical, and one who appeared as living energy, had accepted the Kralax invitation to cooperate. Together they had solved the fleet's second challenge. Alliance acknowledged, the fleet voice announced. Permission granted to access the global archive. Captain Juan felt reality shift again. This time, the entire bridge crew appeared together, in an enormous chamber. Walls stretched infinitely upward made of what looked like liquid starlight. Floating platforms held mysteries beyond counting. This is it, whispered Chief Science Officer Park. Humanity's entire legacy preserved in one place. Chief Medical Officer He approached a glowing column. As she touched it, information poured directly into her mind. Their medicine is remarkable. They conquered every disease, even death itself. But they gave it up willingly. Navigator Yuna found herself drawn to a series of star maps that moved in 3 dimensions. Look at this. They explored galaxies we haven't even discovered. They traveled to places outside our known universe. Communications Officer Sua stood before a wall displaying conversations. These are messages. Humanity spoke to species across thousands of years. They learned 40,000 languages and created universal translators we still can't match. Intelligence Officer June examined historical databases. Their wars lasted centuries, but they learned peace eventually. Watch this. A hologram showed ancient humans fighting, dying, destroying entire cities. Then the images changed. Humans, helping each other, building together, exploring hand in hand. They made so many mistakes, said Lieutenant Min, watching the display. But they never gave up trying to be better. Chief Engineer Dong discovered technical schematics that made his head spin. This is impossible. They built ships that traveled faster than light without engines. They created energy from nothing. They even constructed artificial universes. Security. Chief Young found military records. They had weapons that could destroy planets, but look, in their final century they dismantled all weapons of war. They chose to be defenseless. Executive Officer J stood before a massive tree made of light. Each branch held a human life story. There are billions of them. Every human who ever lived, their memories preserved forever. Captain Huan approached a central pedestal. As his hands touched it, a gentle voice spoke directly in his mind. Welcome, friend. We are the collective memory of humanity. What would you like to know? Why did you leave? Huan asked. We discovered that consciousness itself could evolve beyond physical form. Our bodies became limitations, not vessels. We chose to grow beyond them. Park joined Huan at the pedestal. But you left all this behind. Why preserve it if you no longer need it? Because growth doesn't mean forgetting. Our past shapes who we became, and we believed others would follow our path someday. This archive helps you prepare. Chief Medical Officer He accessed medical files. You cured aging, disease, even mental suffering. Your lives spanned thousands of years. Why give up immortality? True immortality isn't endless time in one form, the voice explained. It's becoming something greater. We exist now in ways your language cannot describe. Navigator Yuna studied their final star charts. You mapped dimensions beyond our understanding. You found the edges of reality itself, and discovered they weren't edges, the voice agreed. Just doorways to more wonders. Communications Officer Sua found their philosophical treatises. You debated existence, consciousness, the meaning of life for millions of years. What conclusion did you reach? That questions matter more than answers. The search itself drives evolution. Intelligence Officer June examined their social structures. You achieved perfect harmony in your final century. No crime, no hunger, no inequality. How? We realize that individual growth benefits everyone. When each person becomes their best self, society naturally flourishes. Chief Engineer Dong marveled at their technology. Your final inventions could reshape reality itself. You could have become gods to other species. That's why we left, the archive responded. True power is the wisdom to know when not to use. Harrisher Security Chief Young reviewed their defense strategies. You protected the weak even when it cost you. You sacrificed resources to help less advanced species. Strength without compassion is weakness. We learned this truth over many painful centuries. Executive Officer J studied their art forms. Music that contained mathematics. Paintings that moved through time. Poetry that existed in 7 dimensions. Your creativity transcended all boundaries. You made beauty itself, and found it everywhere. We looked. Beauty drove our evolution as much as science. Captain Huan stepped back from the pedestal. His entire crew stood transformed by what they had learned. Humanity hadn't just advanced technologically, they had evolved morally, spiritually, artistically. There's one more thing, the archive voice continued. Before you leave, you may each take one gift. One piece of human knowledge to carry forward. Choose wisely. The crew looked at each other. With infinite knowledge available, what single gift would best serve their species? Above them, the archive pulsed with patient light, waiting for their decisions. Humanity's greatest treasures surrounded them, free for the choosing. The crew stood in silent contemplation. The weight of choosing humanity's final gift pressed on each mind. Around them, infinite knowledge glowed and pulsed, waiting. Captain Huan moved first. He approached a simple book floating in midair. Its pages turned on their own, filled with handwritten notes. This is someone's journal, he said aloud. A human child writing about dreams and fears. The gift I choose is humanity's ability to find wisdom in simple things. Chief Science Officer Park selected a complex equation that seemed to dance between dimensions. I choose their gift of curiosity. This formula leads to questions, not just answers. They never stopped wondering. Chief Medical Officer He picked up what appeared to be two hands holding each other. Empathy, she declared. The ability to truly understand another's suffering and joy. This was their greatest healing tool. Communications Officer Sua touched a sphere that contained thousands of voices harmonizing. I take their gift of connection. They built bridges between all living things. Chief Engineer Dong selected blueprints that changed as he looked at them. Adaptability. They built things that grew with their users. Their tools became better over time. Security Chief Young chose an image of a soldier helping an enemy. Protective wisdom. Knowing when to fight, when to defend, and when to extend mercy. Navigator Yuna took a map that led everywhere and nowhere. Wonder, she said simply. They never lost their sense of amazement at the universe. Intelligence Officer June picked a puzzle box that solved itself. The gift of learning. They knew that real knowledge comes from understanding processes, not memorizing facts. Lieutenant Min selected a seed that contained an entire forest. Patience and potential. They planted trees whose shade they would never sit in. Executive Officer J took a mirror that reflected not faces but possibilities. The gift of seeing what could be, not just what is. They always believed in tomorrow. As each crew member made their choice, the archive pulsed brighter. In the Bisnal. Vigil Fleet's voice returned, carrying new warmth. Your choices reveal your readiness. Humanity's true gift was never technology, it was wisdom. You have demonstrated that you understand this. The chamber around them began to transform. The walls dissolved into starfield. They found themselves back aboard their ship, but everything had changed. Sir, reported Tactical Officer Kim, our systems are completely upgraded, but more than that, they're evolving, they're becoming intuitive. Chief Engineer Dong examined his console. The ship is learning from us. It's not just advanced technology, it's alive with possibility. Outside their windows, the Eternal Vigil Fleet arranged itself into a new formation. Ships that had guarded Earth for 500,000 years now prepared for something different. Kralak's vessel and allies, the fleet announced. Humanity's legacy now continues through you. We have one final gift. 3 ships detached from the main fleet, sleek vessels that combined alien and human design principles. They attached to each of the allied ships like puzzle pieces, finding their match. These are companion ships, the voice explained. Part of us will travel with you now. The vigil ends. The journey begins. Captain Juan felt the change immediately. His ship wasn't just a vessel anymore, it was a partner in exploration. What happens to Earth? Asked Navigator Yuna. It becomes a meeting place for all species who pass our tests. A neutral ground for sharing knowledge and building alliances. You are its first guardians. Chief Science Officer Park detected something remarkable. Sir, the entire Sol system is changing. Planets are being reorganized. Space itself is being rebuilt. Our final task, the Eternal Vigil confirmed. We transform this system into a center of learning and growth. When you return with other species, a university of the cosmos will await. Communications Officer Sua established contact with the other ships. Captain, the crystalline beings say their ship now contains a symphony. The biomechanical species reports their vessel grows food that feeds the soul. The energy beings claim their ship opens doorways between dimensions. Each receives what they need to grow, the fleet responded. Executive Officer J looked at his screen. Sir, we're receiving coordinates, not to places, to possibilities, paths we can explore that humanity prepared. Security Chief Young reviewed the new defensive systems. We're stronger than ever, but the weapons are designed for creation, not destruction. Even our shields generate beauty while protecting. Chief Medical Officer He discovered that their medical bay now healed not just bodies but spirits. We can mend more than physical injuries now. Intelligence Officer June accessed databases that updated themselves. Sir, we're connected to every species that humanity ever met. The knowledge network is alive. Captain Juan stood in the center of his transformed bridge. The view screen showed Earth below, now ringed with institutions of learning instead of defense. Set course for home, he ordered. We carry news of humanity's gift to the galaxy. As the ships turned to leave, the Eternal Vigil's final message echoed through all vessels. Remember always, you are not just explorers now. You are gardeners of possibility. Tend the future well. The hybrid fleet jumped to light speed, leaving Sol system transformed. Behind them, Earth's new academies of wisdom powered up, waiting for the next students. Humanity's dream of a universe, united in growth, not conquest, had finally begun. In the cosmic distances, something vast and warm smiled. The plan had worked. The seeds were planted. The universe would never be the same.